Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, boys and girls.
Let's go.
Jamming to, Joe?
What was that, my brother?
What you jamming to?
Bro, the theme song is on, baby. Let's go.
Good morning, gentlemen. Peter Patel.
Patel.
Good morning.
Hey, I know.
Hey, Will. I picked up 2 in Chino Preserve.
Oh no! Don't say that. Price them right, brother.
I'm sorry, brother. Yeah, thank you so much. It was back to back. All on Facebook, social media.
My team would love to do open houses for you.
I will. I appreciate that. I would let you know. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, good family? Let's go. Let's go get situated. Make sure you got your coffee, your water, put your seatbelt on. It'll be a great meeting. Mr. Casey Smith, how are you, sir?
Good, brother Joe. How you doing?
Great, brother. Doing great.
Outstanding.
You have to wait. I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. Tell them you gotta wait.
Wants all in. Put him on the video. Let's go. All right, team, we're gonna kick this off in a minute. If you guys could mute your mics, that would be fantastic.
Hey, Joe, it's just you and I as admin. Is Yenny on?
Yenny will not be on. Yeah, so it's just you and I, brother.
Okay.
Did you disable the host for me?
No.
That's weird. Host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Oh, Decatur's co-host. I think you gave it to Decatur. Hold on, let me give it back to you.
Please.
Good morning.
Buenos dias. Good morning. Good morning. All right, team, we're going to have a fired up meeting today. If you have an opportunity to turn on your videos, mute your mics, let's get some massive engagement today so that way we walk away with crazy value. Did you give it back to me, Big Will?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, brother.
Nice girl. Such a girl.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Girl.
Let's go.
You're fun today.
Girl. That's a good way to put it.
There we go. All right, team, let's go ahead and kick this off. This is being recorded. We're gonna, with this recording, we'll make sure that it gets dispersed, and then we're also starting to put it on our organization Facebook page, the builders page that we shared last week when Leo Robles was on. So good morning, everybody. Hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. You guys are in for a super, super cool sesh today. Special treat, and I'm really excited for our guest speaker. I'll give him a proper introduction as we get along. So make sure you guys stay online. If you shared this with any other agents or upcoming dream chasers, you're welcome to do that. Again, team, go ahead and mute your mics, please. Mute your mics and turn on your cameras if you can.
Hello, baby, besitos.
Hey, Will, whoever that is, if they don't mute their mic, go ahead and kick them off. As you can see, guys, I'm fired up. I ain't playing today. Let's go. Let's rally the troops. Let's take this next level. All right, so we're gonna cover the announcements, quote of the day. Agent spotlight is gonna be bananas. The breakout room sesh, we're gonna get a little deep. And then we have our guest speaker, Mr. Mark Parella. This guy is a human being that you're gonna be enchanted by, so stay tuned for that. And then if we have some time available, we're gonna break out to the Q&A. Some company announcements, what we got
Yo,
going
make me
on.
co-host. Make me co-host. Sorry.
Okay. There we go. You got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's first start off with the boot camp. Will, are you and Felix, you guys able to give us a little overview? I know you guys are wrapping that up this week, right?
Yeah, Felix, you on? Felix is on.
Yeah, I'm on.
We don't get back.
So this week is actually probably the most
Or
important
to
week.
you, I had to go on this call.
Do you wanna make me co-host? I can help mute people.
All right, there we go. The floor is yours, brother.
All right, cool. So this week is really the capstone week where we talk about the last 4 weeks of work. So it's probably the most important week. The last 4 weeks we've done a great job building habits, and then now we're going to kick it off with sort of implementation and how we move forward from here. So going to be a great week tomorrow. It's going to be packed full 2 hours again. But yeah, getting some amazing results. So I don't know if some people are on here. I know Crystal in Will's group is doing amazing. And there's a lot of people doing some amazing work in there. So shout out to them.
In total, how many participants were showing up on average weekly?
About 100.
Wow. Very, very cool. If you guys are participating in that, I'm sure you're getting just so much out of it that you're going to be able to implement in your business. How many of you guys would like to see Will and Felix run that back? So then that way you guys can jump in and participate in the next boot camp or the next training opportunity with them, right? Outstanding. If you guys have an interest in that, throw a little fire or something like that in the chat room. So then that way we can go back later and have some special invitations for those that want to continue, elevate, grow their business. All right. On Wednesdays, again, we're back to scripts training with Patricia and Caesar. Yesterday, I know they had, or not yesterday, but rather last week, I know they were reorganizing, putting together a massive game plan on how to make sure that script training is gonna be able to be, for the entry level agent all the way to those of us, senior agents that are producing on a high level. So that way everybody gets a lot out of it. If you guys have any questions about that training, connect with Patricia Serrano and Cesar Garza, and they can give you some more information about it. We're also running it parallel out at the Redlands office. I know they're always doing it in Orange County, and you guys are always welcome to mastermind amongst yourselves. So that way you guys can continue to, learn what you say, and what you say matters. So really, really cool. This Thursday, we're doing the EXP Explain model again. Last week was really, really cool. We had a lot of breakthroughs with some newer agents. So if you guys have any special invitations, agents that you guys need to introduce to the EXP model, send me a text message. So then that way I can properly prepare for those conversations. Because what I end up doing is I kind of just get a grasp of the audience and which agents are participating, where they're coming from, and we customize that conversation for them. So that way it's not so cookie cutter. Okay, so again, if you need somebody that needs a conversation, reach out to me or any of the team leaders, and we'll make sure that everybody's dialed in and that they're getting the information. And then we also have a local event that we wanted to share. Recently, I volunteered and I took on a director role for NARREP for education. And so collectively throughout the next year, I'm going to be putting together some training events for the masses. And this one is going to be super, super cool. If you guys are in the, Southern California area, this is on June the 2nd. And I'll be moderating this event. And I'm bringing like 8 of the top listing agents in Southern California, well, in the Southern California Inland Empire area, for them to be able to share, their perspectives on the shift. Many of them are top agents. So if you're a buyer's agent and you want to build some rapport with the people that are accepting offers, this is also a good opportunity for you to get in front of them. So we have an amazing lineup. I'll tell you one person that's confirmed to show up, and he's in our group. Actually, 2. Decatur Thornton will be there on the panel, and so will Christina Caminastro out of Redlands. Both of them have phenomenal numbers, and they'll be on the panel along with like 2 or 3 other top agents at KW, Remax, Century 21. So we have a phenomenal lineup of top agents. So if you guys get a chance, reach out to me. I'll give you guys the information for showing up and supporting in that event. I think it would be super awesome if we packed the house with our own family and just kind of created a mass audience there in collaboration. So if you guys need any info on that, let me know. Okay. Any questions whatsoever on the events for this week? All right, let's keep it moving. All right, guys. So like last week when we did the agent spotlight, so many comments and positive feedback about us hearing from, some of the best agents in our organization and what they're doing to elevate their business. So if you haven't been on the last 2 weeks, stand by. Like, we're going to roll out almost every single person in this organization, because I know many of you are just doing amazing things. Okay. This week, we have the pleasure of highlighting 2 of our, rising leaders, Patricia Serrano and Crystal Williams. So welcome to the spotlight, guys. Welcome to the spotlight. Let's first start off with Patricia, and then I'll let Will plug in with Crystal. The reason why it was clear cut for me, I had already had, Patricia in mind for bringing her to the forefront, is because in my experience with Patricia, she has just like literally came into our organization from a place. She was at Keller Williams before, and I'll let her tell her own story. But when we first sat down, we talked about almost every single thing that we talk about with many of you when we first meet. Like, all right, this is what we want. This is our vision. This is where we're going to go with it. And what Patricia did is she literally did every single thing that she said she was going to do in a short amount of time. Okay. So, and I'll let her share with you that experience. But since then, not only has she become a more than 6-figure earning real estate agent, right? She's also implemented the other facets of EXP in her business model, where she is starting to build teams and organization, and she's volunteered to do the scripts training, and she's phenomenal. So welcome, Patricia. How are you, my friend?
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Anytime. So I would love for you to do 2 things for us, if you could. Tell us a little bit about the quick journey, and then I have a follow-up question after that.
Okay, so I started real estate and I signed up with Keller Williams 2 days before the lockdown. So 2 days before the whole lockdown, I signed with them. 9 months later, after doing my first deal was a 1.225 million commercial. After that was 600 plus. 9 months later, I quickly realized that I was growing too fast. I was growing and Keller Williams wasn't cutting it for me. At that time, you and I connected, and I said, what do you got? What do you got for me? How are you going to help? And, you just held me by your hand. We held hands, and I'm here. And every single thing that Joseph tells me to do, it goes on my vision board. And what's on my vision board is revenue share from this month, right? So that's my next step.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Now, on the transactional side, before I ask you about the revenue share thing, right? On the transactional side, what has like the last 12 months been for you? Because I know you're also doing commercial and residential, right? So how have you balanced that?
I just do it. I do what other agents won't do.
Mhm.
And if I don't know how to do it, I will equip myself. I will train myself to learn how to do it, and I'll take on anything. At the moment, I have a listing in San Diego. Agents won't go out there. I'm in another territory, and it's okay. It's scary, but that's how I'm pushing forward to learn. So let me just tell you how my business has been booming. I started a business account with 5,000 when I first signed up with EXP, and that business account is way higher in the 6 figures. And it feels good. It feels good.
I love that. I love that. Well, now you're adding to that business account through agent attraction and revenue share. And I know you haven't even focused on it. Like
I haven't even tried.
haven't even tried, right? Now, if you're comfortable, you're welcome to share the wins that you have seen from it. I know it's several $1,000s, right?
Yes, actually, this month, without even counting on it, I just said, let me click into this thing. And I text Joseph, oh my gosh, 1,500 is going to my business account. That's my marketing. That's marketing money. That's just going to help me grow. And that's the beginning. And that's not even trying. That's an income I wasn't even counting on.
So cool, man. I'm so proud of you, Patty.
Thank you.
And again, that's just the beginning, right?
That's just
So
the beginning.
yeah. And now that you're going to pay attention to it and we start implementing some strategy behind it, 5X, 10X, 25X, like that's what we're going to do. It's going to change everything.
Exactly. In that same text conversation with Joseph, I asked him, I asked you about your revenue share, and you sent me a picture, and I asked you, can I print it? It's on my vision board now.
Good. Well,
It's on my vision board.
Well, that number is
And that's a nice number.
yes, it is. It was a very nice number. And that number will be you in 12 months, 18 months.
And this is the thing, I tell agents, you can do it. You just have to be organized. You have to see yourself like a business. A lot of agents just don't, get a vision board.
That part.
It has to be in front of you. I have a whiteboard and I have all my clients, all my deals going on. You got to see it every single day. Every day it's scary, it's challenging, and you just have to see it. My goals are so big that I cannot afford not to get there.
I love that. I love that. Patty, thank you for summarizing that. And we're going to be
You're welcome.
tracking your successes and continue to bless us with those stories, my friend. So, Will.
Hey, I'm blown away, man. Because again, I was at KW when Patty started, right? So I saw her close that first deal, and I put out a reel at one point when you close your first deal, and I think at KW, I think Patty was hurt when she closed that first deal because that was a pretty big deal, and they took a big chunk of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Patty was upset, to say the least. But congrats on finding your home, and congrats on all your success.
Thank you so much.
Also, one thing she said was a business, right? Like this is a business, and it's unfortunate. And we're going to push you guys to think bigger, but most agents, they can't see past the transaction. And me, Joe, Decatur, Felix, all the leaders, I mean, we're producing, but transactions, we don't talk about transactions much because that's the easy part. And what we're pushing you guys to do is get to a point where the transaction stuff is easy. So just lock in, listen to other folks. Also tap in with the other folks on this call that are high producers, that are capping, right? Because there's a lot of you that are doing it. And it's not just us that you have to rely on. This is a whole organization, a whole group. It's 100 people on here right now. There's 100 people that you can rely on. Okay. So that's first and foremost. But second, I want to introduce my right hand, Crystal Williams. So Crystal has basically done everything, just like Patty. Crystal came in, really no, high expectations of us. She just listened, and she followed the roadmap. Again, everything that you guys want to do, there's somebody in this organization that has done it or is doing it. You really just have to be resourceful. Crystal will not call me and ask me a question if she has not looked it up or went through and found another resource. And just like Patty, Crystal was a new agent. I mean, again, we share that this is not our first career, right? And just like Patty, not first career. So we have a level of professionalism that has helped us succeed. But without further ado, I want to introduce Crystal, and she can kind of tell you her story of kind of coming into EXP, what she's done as a new agent to come on during the pandemic, and kind of where she's going. Crystal, you there?
I am. I didn't unmute myself. Hey guys, yeah, it's so funny listening to Patty because our stories are quite similar. I come on about 2 weeks. I started real estate. This is my second career about 2 weeks before the pandemic. So I don't know another way. I'm a pandemic real estate baby. So I came on to a local Keller Williams here in the Pasadena area, and things moved a little slower. I didn't, I didn't have the support like I have here. Things just weren't really flowing like they needed to flow in real estate. And when I think I stayed there for just about a year, my transactions weren't where they really needed to be. I came across some other agents with EXP. I met Will through social media. And when I heard the model like that and seeing how excited everyone was, I just, jumped on board right away. I wanted to get on the rocket ship that everybody else was on, see what that fire was about. And it was just like, no looking back from there. EXP has been amazing. I was told a lot of things about EXP, and I found that a lot of them were false. EXP just has really been, collaborative, giving me so many opportunities just to be busy. And one of the things I've learned with working with all of these amazing agents is you just don't say no. You have to be open to these opportunities, because when you say no, you really limit yourself. I'll say yes first and then say, okay, what is it that you want? Say the yes first and get used to saying yes so that you can learn these things, especially as a new agent. And I've been more transactional with EXP than I thought I would. I've done really well through the help of my team. Everybody's been so great, just assisting me with, like I said, the lead generation, whatever it can be, the additional training in script practicing, being good at it, and being organized. And I think that, I had Will as a mentor, and, he's not going to hold my hand through things. He made sure that I learned it on my own. And I think that's important for an agent, to really dive in and learn your craft. This is a craft. This is a business. What's that saying that says no one's coming? You really have to do it and take advantage of all the tools that EXP has to offer. Look at the team call we're on now. I mean, where else can you get this at? Where else can you ignite your week and get started and have all of this, community and kind of inspire each other? So I'm just ecstatic.
So Crystal, so again, on the transactional side, you've blown it out the park. I mean, this woman has closed so many deals. I have to get on her about cashing the damn checks. This woman got checks from 3 and 4 months ago that she does not cash, just sitting there. So
that's not good. Don't say that. That's bad.
If you guys need some money, call Crystal. But on the growth side as well, like, again, this just happened. So Crystal has she has her own organization now. So let's kind of talk about that, Crystal.
Yeah, I've been able to really see the importance of the, agent attraction and growing a team. So that's been exciting this year for me, just to really get these agents that I can work with and, help them achieve their real estate goals. And at the same time, I'm building this team out. And that's the beauty of EXP. It's this community sort of effort, because when one wins, the other one wins. So we all are winning. And I want to make that my real goal this year, is to really continue to grow my team. I want to see that rev share continue to increase. I want to make icon. I want everything that EXP has to offer. I don't want to stop and only want 1 or 2 things. I want it all.
That's what's
awesome.
up. Yes. Any questions? Andy, let's take 1 or 2 questions for Patty and Crystal. Any questions out there, team? Don't be shy.
Let me ask Patty a question real quick.
Go for it.
Patty, I know you're a mama. Yeah, I know you're a mom like myself. How do you do it to balance your schedule?
My kids are on a schedule. My kids are on a schedule.
You mentioned that before.
8 o'clock, bath, bedtime, and they're up at a certain time, they have to eat and the house has to be kept clean. I don't have a nanny. I don't have a cleaning lady yet. Everyone keeps everything clean. Homework time, I'm on a schedule. I've always had them on a schedule since they were babies, so they're used to that. But I would love to have a workshop about that, how that works.
Me
because
too.
we all have a family calendar. Everything goes on, even my nail appointment, a massage, anything has to go on the calendar, family calendar.
Family calendar, I love that.
Jenny's
Thank you
on
for
this-
sharing that.
On this call, she knows how I run on my calendar.
Cool, awesome. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
That's a great point about integrating family life with business, right? Any last questions, team, before we move on?
Yes. Can you girls, both of you, put your social media so we could follow you?
Of course, absolutely.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
No
Hi,
problem.
I don't know if you can hear me. Hi, this is Jessica. I had a question for both Patricia and Crystal. What tools do you guys use to keep yourself organized as you're increasing your volume and your team? Is there like one tool that you guys use?
Well, for me, I use several tools. If you're talking about being organized, one, I live, like Patty said, by my calendar. And if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. And also with just keeping everything organized, I have, a giant Excel sheet that I love Excel. I love working from it. I keep all of my clients in there, transactions, follow up, and I use KV Core. KV Core has an amazing CRM system to keep everything, going for you. So those are the three biggest tools that I use.
Thank you.
Same here. I do calendar, and KV Core and calendar.
Oh, nice. Okay. Thank you.
Great question, great session. Well, Patty and Crystal, thank you guys for being spotlighted. We're very proud of you. Keep pushing, keep pushing. All right, we're gonna skip this, team, just for sake of time, because I want to make sure that we have we're gonna take full advantage of Mr. Mark Parella. But I think there's the quote. I passed it too quickly. We're going to cover the quote, then we're going to move into Mark. All right, let me get a volunteer for the quote of the day. Ada, let's go. Unmute yourself.
Let's go. Hello, team. Good morning. The body cannot go where the mind has not gone first.
Share with us, what does that mean to you?
Wow, I feel like first we gotta vision what we want to manifest, and then yeah, the body is gonna take us there. But it's a lot of days, a lot of mornings of vision, creating that reality in order whenever we are going to manifest, the body is ready for that.
Absolutely. Does somebody else have another perspective on how that relates to business as well?
Hey, yeah, Joe. I was thinking that, our mind is one of our strongest muscles. Our mind guides everything we do. That's why we have, with all of these different things, want to control our mind. Our mind, we have to believe it. If we believe it and we put it in our minds, our body's going to follow. So we can't limit ourselves with our thinking capacity and where we think we can go in business, and our body will follow right along.
100%. 100%. I'll share with you guys my perspective on it when I was thinking about the quote. It actually had to do with affirmations. Like, I remember when I started hearing about affirmations, admittedly, I thought it was like a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm like, why am I saying these things over and over again? Why do people even do that? It didn't resonate with me until I used to host this little segment on Clubhouse, and this author got on my conversation, and he kind of broke it down in a way that I didn't think about it. And what he shared with me was that he actually took it back to like more of a childhood experience, right? Where you have these like limiting beliefs when we're children, whether it's you're getting bullied or like he was sharing with me stuff about racism. It was like a real deep conversation about things that get embedded in us as children, and we carry that into adulthood. Now, the only way to change that framework is to almost like reboot your CPU in your own body as adults. And so those affirmations or saying those simple things like every single day, whether it's in prayer or, you know, some kind of spiritual belief, or even just saying, hey, I'm going to do this one great thing today. Or, you know, I'm grateful for, you know, my health. Just like something simple can make a big change and an impact in your life. As a matter of fact, I ended up implementing it in my parenting. So like every time when I have my little girl, before she falls asleep, that's like two things I ask her. Like, what was the best thing that happened to you today? And what is something that you're very proud of that you did today? Right. And when she doesn't have anything, because she's 5 years old and, you know, they don't dig too deep, then I share with her, right? Like, you know what, baby girl, I'm really proud that that you made a new friend today, or that you gave me a hug when I seen you this morning. Like, and just those small positive implementations are planting seeds for her to be a better person, is the way I kind of grasp with it. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. You know, going somewhere deep in your mind, so then that way you can perform that, you know, in an exterior fashion at the highest level. So and I actually think that's going to be a perfect segue into the man himself. Let's bring on, I know I've seen him floating around here. There was some sexy human being sitting down in his living room. Mr. Mark Parella. Let me give you guys a quick intro, and I will not be doing him any justice in this introduction. And I'm gonna let his words speak for himself. This gentleman right here is a very, very close friend and comrade of Decatur and I's. We've had the pleasure of knowing this gentleman over 10 years now. He may have to date us a little bit, how long we've actually known each other. We used to work with each other. This guy is like, before I even knew he was doing what he was doing, like, this is the dude that you want to hang out with at the bar, to have drinks, in a street fight, or sit down and just get mad educated. The dude's a whiz when it comes to like stocks, shares. I mean, well-rounded. Like, if I was of the female gender, like, I would be plugging in with this dude all day, every single day. And it has nothing to do with his 12 pack of abs, which I despise him for. Mark, how are you, my brother?
Good, sir. How you doing?
Oh man, any better? I'd be Mark Parella, man. Mark the fucking man Parella. Let's go.
I don't know how that's one hell of an introduction. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man, and thank you for being, you know, here collectively with our team. We have a team, man. This team's called Dreamchasers, Mark, and I know that's something that you can resonate with. I would love to just open it up, man. You got 30 minutes, man. Share with us a little bit about yourself. You know, how you got into mountaineering, and I hope that's the right term, so don't get offended by me. And tell us a little bit about this journey that you've been on, my brother, please.
Sure. Absolutely love to share with you guys. I was listening in a little bit to you guys talking before. I love that quote that you guys have on there, and I totally agree with that quote. I use that every day, pretty much in my own training and stuff too. So, you know, I guess I'm on here for the most part for my mountaineering skills and stuff. And, you know, most notably, I guess I've done a few mountains, a couple big ones here and there, Everest in 2019, Aconcagua. But, you know, trying to apply, I guess, you know, my experience with you guys and stuff, you know, I started climbing at a young age. I started as a kid with the family, going out in the backyard in the woods and all that. And, you know, it started there. Then I joined Boy Scouts, and I was in Boy Scouts all the way to Eagle. I still consider myself a Boy Scout with Troop 182, Holden, Massachusetts. And, you know, I didn't just get to Everest just like that. Everything that I did was pretty much a progression, and I had to learn it all on my own. You know, I like to say that I started climbing Mount Wachusett, which is a small mountain that's, you know, just down the road from me, about 15 minutes. And the mountain stands at only 2,006 feet. For a mountain to be considered a mountain, it has to be 1,993 feet. So this mountain is, only is a mountain by 13 feet. So I consider it to be the smallest mountain in the world. All right. So I always like to say to myself that, I went from climbing the smallest mountain in the world to the biggest mountain in the world. And, it was a progression. From there, I started climbing there. Then I went to New Hampshire and I started climbing bigger mountains in the White Mountains. Then I came out to California. I was in the Navy and all. And eventually I came to Los Angeles and started climbing in the Angeles National Forest. Eventually made it all to the Sierras. I don't know if you guys know any of the mountains in the Sierras, but you got Mount Whitney out there, which is the highest mountain in North America. Well, not North America, in the lower 48 states, I'm sorry. Climbing that. Then eventually I went to Rainier. I started climbing and progressing until I got to, Rainier. And then after that, I went to South America and climbed Aconcagua, which is the highest mountain in South America and outside the Himalayas. From there, I attempted 2017 to climb Denali, failed that time, went back in 2018, failed again. And then I got invited to go and climb Everest. So 2019, I ended up going and climbing Everest and summited, what was it, last week? Yeah, my anniversary was last week. It was May 16th. After that, I made some great friends out there with a lot of the Sherpa people and stuff, and went back and climbed Ama de Blanc just in November. But now I am going back to Denali. In fact, next week I have an expedition going out there with a team of Nepali Sherpas, and we're calling ourselves the US Nepal Friendship Team. And, Everest was my dream, but my second dream was to climb with some of the best climbers in the world. And I'm doing just that by climbing with these 7 Nepali Sherpas, and 4 of them have world records. One of them was Nimsdai's right-hand man, Mingma David Sherpa, who I don't know if you've ever seen the documentary 14 Peaks, but he's on there and stuff. But, that's pretty much my itinerary and stuff and my history and stuff with climbing. But, with Everest, it was always a dream since high school. And, the dream kind of faded when I got into college and then into the military and stuff. But then the dream was a dream until it really became a reality for me. It was one of those things where I didn't think I was eventually going to do it until all of a sudden, one day people are telling me, you're amazing in the mountains, you're fast, you know what you're doing. And I started realizing it. And once I started realizing it, I said to myself, I'm like, hey, this isn't just a dream anymore. This is going to be a reality. And then when I got that opportunity and invited to go climb Everest, it was one of those opportunities where the door opened for me, and it was on my 5-year plan. So I didn't think I was going to be doing this for 5 years. But when that opportunity presented itself, I said to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm going for this. With all the climbing and stuff I did, I do it because it's just a true passion for me. It's something I absolutely love to do. I love being out there. I love the true freedom of the mountains. And I feel like with whatever you guys are going to do and stuff in life, you got to really, truly love it. Because if you truly love what you're doing, you're going to be great at it and you're going to work hard at it. So, I mean, that's my why. My why is pretty much getting out there and feeling that feeling of just true freedom from climbing. The how is pretty much the progression that just kind of happened naturally for me based on me wanting it more and more. With climbing and stuff for me, every time I climbed one mountain, another one came along, and the hunger for the mountains became, I wanted to climb the next biggest mountain or the more steeper mountain, the more technical one. I wanted the challenge. I was up for the challenge and stuff. And it became one of those things where, I started doing it on my weekends in the Sierras. I'd look up a mountain, I'd obsess about it. I'd work hard on just researching everything I could about that mountain, how to get there, the weather patterns, everything I needed to do. I would obsess about this for the longest time. I do hours and hours of research. I'd read trip reports. I'd get on Instagram, I'd get on YouTube, I'd watch all these videos and stuff just so I could learn everything about it. And eventually this became a process and stuff. It just naturally became one that I just developed off of just wanting it so bad. So I just kept on doing that. And then the bigger the mountain, the bigger expedition, the more planning, the more training, and the more research had to be done for it. And, you know, from that, my how pretty much developed out of the necessity of me having to get to the top. And, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, if your why is powerful enough, the how is just going to be fucking easy for you.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it comes down to. It's just going to be plain simple, easy and stuff. And it's going to be one of those things that's going to just naturally come to you because of your passion and stuff. So,
and Mark, real quick on that, my brother.
Absolutely.
Like one of the really like important takeaways that I wanted the group to take from you is like your mindset, right? Like you're a physical phenom, bro, but like your mindset is like unlike so many other people. And I remember reading this article that it was talking about like special ops teams, right? And they talk about like in their training, and I'm sure you've experienced this. I'd love for you to tap into it, where like when as human beings we feel like we're tapped out, we can't go any further, we can't push ourselves, where we've really only kind of pushed ourselves to like 40% of our total physical ability. And man, you paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to go on some of these expeditions, and people get stuck, people lose their lives. Like, how does that what kind of mindset do you have to climb freaking Everest, bro? Like, and who's thinking about that in high school?
It's, you know, in high school and stuff, you just see it as a dream. When you start applying yourself to it and it becomes one of those realities in your life, you're like, all right, you got to lay it all on the table. Like, I'm going to go do this and I'm investing everything, including my life, into this. So you're going to put it all out there. So the mindset really is something that I had to develop over time. And I just kind of stumbled upon it. It started when I was going to do Aconcagua. Aconcagua is 22,841 feet. It's a big mountain. And I started having to do cardio. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do cardio. I'm going to do cardio. So I started working hard. And what I started doing was I got sick of listening to music. When you're sitting there doing cardio for 4 hours and stuff, you get pretty bored of listening to the same songs over and over again. So I tapped into YouTube and I started listening to motivational speeches and stuff. And I was surprised on how well it worked listening to it. You know, I listened to Zig Ziglar, T.D. Jakes, you know, Les Brown, my favorite one. And I listened to him over and over again, and just having that in my head and stuff, every time I trained, it stuck with me. I went and I tried to climb Middle Palisades. All right. This is a mountain that I tried doing in the Sierra Nevadas. And the first time I went, I failed. The weather was bad. I couldn't do it. The second time I went back again. And this time I got up and I had the wrong shoes because, you know, it was very technical and I had to climb. I didn't have the right shoes. Finally, a third time I go back, I'm like, this is it. I put on Les Brown and I'm sitting there climbing this mountain and listening to him and stuff. I'm like, no, we're going to make it to the top this time. Sure as hell I made it. But listen to that eventually changed my mindset. And then I used that constantly in my training and stuff. I said, all right, we always got to push a little harder. So in my training routines and stuff, you know, I started applying everything I heard. And then when I'd start doing a really tough training routine, I pushed myself as hard as I could. And then I said, okay, here's a summit. I got to go for the summit. I vision that summit and I say, oh, I'm going to push myself a little harder. That quote that you guys had up there before. The body can't go where the mind hasn't gone. Is that correct? Is that
right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much how I will train, where when I'm pushing as hard as possible in my training sessions, I have that vision of those last steps to the summit. Denali, I've never made it to yet. This is my third attempt. I've failed twice on it, right? But I've been on top of that mountain more times than I can count in my mind. I'll be training and stuff. I know exactly what that summit looks like. When I get up there, I know exactly what it looks like. I've seen it before in my mind 1,000 times, and I've climbed it in my mind 1,000 times. So that when I do finally climb it, it's just going to be easy because I've been there 1,000 times, because my mind has already been there. So I know hopefully if I get good weather this time, I'll make it to the top of that mountain.
I was just about to ask you, why didn't you make it up? Like, share with us, like, why did you see that fail, and how are you going to rebound from that?
I mean, I could talk failure all day long, but I'll tell you one thing I wish I knew when I was younger and stuff like that was like failure is a part of success. I failed on a lot of mountains and I've come back and done them again. The first time I failed, I went to the guide group And when I went with the guide group, the weather was terrible, right? We never had a weather window to make it up there. You know, Denali, if you guys don't know, is the highest mountain in North America. It sits in Alaska above the Arctic Circle, and it gets blasted by storms coming off the Bering Strait. So the weather's always terrible. It's considered the coldest mountain in the world to climb. So, you know, we sat there and just never got a weather window. And then when there was one finally coming, because we were with the guide group, they said, nope, like, we got to go back down. We got to take the next group up. So I blew 10 grand on that thing. And I said to myself, nope, never again. I'm not going to go with the guide group again. I went back a second time. This time, the next year, I went back with a private party. And the guys I went with were awesome, great guys and stuff. But the same thing again, we had a weather window. We tried to go for it. We got up to high camp, and then all of a sudden, some storm came in. We got in a whiteout situation, built a snow cave. We tried staying in that, and then temperatures dipped to -30. And some of the guys were getting frostbite on their toes. So as we started descending back down, one of the guys broke his ankle on the way down. And, you know, he still tried to climb afterwards 2 days later, but that was pretty much it for that one. So this time I'm going back, and I'm going back with some of the greatest guys I've ever met and climbed with before. It's going to be 7 Nepali Sherpas, and they're amazing climbers. So very strong. And Pasang Dava Sherpa was my guide on Everest and on Amat Blanc. And he pushed me really hard, especially on Everest during like the last push I needed. He just was mentally there for me. So I know going with a strong team, surrounding myself with climbers that are better than me, it's going to up my chances even more. You know, I'm actually
Mark.
I'll be the weakest link on this team, but at the same time, I'm going to train my ass off so that I can keep up with them.
Mark, I appreciate it, brother. I have a quick question.
Sure.
And maybe I think this will add value. This is life or death.
Yes.
This is literally life or death for a goal or a dream. Explain that to us, man. Like, you know, how do you go up this mountain knowing that I could die? I'm not financially, I'm not making any, I'm paying to do this, but just to reach a goal. Can you tap on that or tap in on that for the team?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, every risk that is taken up there, I believe, is a calculated risk by everyone. Everyone knows their limits. And sometimes you're definitely willing to push past it if you want something bad enough. On Everest, I'll give you my life or death where I thought for sure I was not making it off that mountain. We got up to the south summit. We climbed through the night. And when we got up there, I realized that I couldn't see very well. Everything was really foggy and stuff. And it wasn't anymore that the sun was finally starting to come up, a little bit of light and stuff was coming. And I realized everything was getting foggier. And I'm like, wow, I'm getting blind. I'm going blind. I don't know what's going on, but I can't see very well. And I look ahead and I have the summit ridge, which is in front of me. This summit ridge is just a narrow ridge. You've probably seen pictures of it maybe, where on one side, it drops down about 5,000 feet and you're climbing right alongside of this. On the other side, it's a slant. So you have this narrow ridge and I'm looking at it and I say to Pasang Dava Sherpa, I'm like, look, I don't think I can make it. I'm going blind. He goes to me, he's like, this is not my problem. He's like, you can do this. Pushes me a little bit. And I finally said to myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I'm going to go for it. I'm like, I'm probably not going to come back. And I asked myself in my head, everything kind of flashed before me. I was like, you've been wanting this since high school. You've been wanting this dream so bad. And here you are right in front of it. It's either you go for it now or you're just never going to get it again. And I said to myself, you know, all the training, all the hours, everything I put into this, all the years and years of it was right here in front of me. And I said to myself, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go for it. If I die, I die. I don't give a fuck right now. I'm going for it. And I did. I made it, you know, 45 minutes longer and I was standing on the summit and I was like, wow, unbelievable. What happened was my eyes were actually freezing. I didn't realize it, but it was -42. And as I started going back down, my eyes started thawing out. But the problem was I didn't put my goggles on. I didn't think I needed them through the night. So my eyeballs were actually freezing. And that's why I was going blind. But I didn't go fully blind, so luckily I got some good views from the summit. But that was my moment where it was either life or death, and I felt like I was put in a choice. But I wanted it so bad that I really didn't care at that point. I was going to go for it. And I hope that answers your question.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There was, and it's a calculated risk for everyone in the mountains. And it's one of those things that I feel like climbers accept it more than people that just don't understand. These are people that are pursuing their dreams out there. And on my team, I lost two friends. One of them died at Camp 4. The other one fell off the Lhotse face when we were out there and stuff. And it's one of those things, you mourn them, but you honor them at the same time. And I think everyone understands that, they're pursuing their dream. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, but at the same time, it's something that they wanted so bad that they were willing to, accept the risk with it.
Hey,
Go for it, D.
Yeah.
This is Decatur, brother.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm well. Hey, man. We've shared some very intimate times training in the gym, whether it's in law enforcement or just training for whatever our next venture is. I've been knowing you for quite some time, man. And we've had these just awesome conversations while you're training. But what I would say is that, but your mentality, the way that you approach life is very infectious. And I know that it's pushed me to a limit to really gravitate toward what my dreams are. Not necessarily coming from a youth, but I can kind of tap into that and bring it kind of full circle. And I'm grabbing so many nuggets right now, just talking about what venture I'm in right now in terms of real estate. And I think we've discussed this several different times. But you are who you surround yourself with, and you talk about your harsh conditions in life in terms of being a mountaineer. But what resonates with me the most is your endless desire to succeed. And I think that's what I want to grasp for the masses of our unit in Dreamchasers, is that there is a massive action to not give up and succeed, and whatever that takes. Now, I've never heard this man say any derogatory words, never. He's always solution-based, and he is all action. And I just want to say that I appreciate you. I appreciate the conversations that we've had. And more so than anything, I really appreciate you sharing this with our team. And if we're really listening, we're kind of putting this in where we're at right now in terms of real estate. And we're realizing that it takes a massive action, massive approach to succeed in any venture that we put our mind to. So thank you, Mark. I appreciate you, brother.
Very welcome. Very welcome. Of course. I love our conversations, especially in the gym right before I get a workout in, and you're in there at the same time, and always speaking great conversations all the time with you.
And I see what D is talking about. Like like in our forums, we're talking about real estate. We're talking about transactions. We're not talking life or death things. So, which is a reflection, brother. So one, there's a lot of respect to have this conversation with you. And more importantly, like the things that you're sharing just is going to push us, right? Because you see other people doing great things, and we want to mirror that success. Now, I know a lot of what you do, brother, you don't do it just for yourself. I know you've participated and you've led several charities, right? Like there's another purpose behind it. Can you share about that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I do run a campaign called Climb Against Cancer, where I raise money for the Cancer Support Community Center of South Bay. I've been doing this for 5 years. This is the 5th time doing it. And so far we've raised, just over $16,000 with the campaign. And I started doing it. I wanted to find something that would give back. Mountaineering is considered kind of, a lot of people look at it as being a bit selfish, a bit one-sided. And I think it's because lack of understanding of, they've heard stories of people up in the death zone where there's climbers climbing down and there's someone on the ground that they just can't help and stuff, and they just have to leave them behind and stuff. A lot of people don't understand that sometimes up there, you can barely get down yourself. So because of that, I feel like mountaineering has gotten a little bit of a negative kind of persona behind it due to it. And I wanted to show people that that's not the case. And I wanted to show them that, through, my passion of mountaineering, you can give back to the community. So that's why I came across the Cancer Support Community Center 6 years ago, when I had a fiance at the time who was diagnosed with cancer. And we were scared. We had nowhere to turn to or anything like that. So, once you go to a doctor and stuff and you're diagnosed with cancer, they're great with dealing with the whole medical perspective. But when it comes to the emotional side, there was nothing really there. So we found the center. They helped us out a lot. And I wanted to pay it forward for all the stuff that they did for us, for all the emotional support. So I decided, the best thing that I can do is, climbing. So I wanted to use that to give back to them. So I, established a campaign called Climb Against Cancer, where I started raising money for the center. And, this year we're doing it again. You can go to my website. I got a website called climbagainstcancer.com. And, there you can donate and it goes directly to the center. It actually has, it's actually all donations are tax deductible because they are a nonprofit. So I have that, but also on the website, I always share, all my climbs and stuff. So you can actually check out the team and the expedition that's coming up to Denali next week. And you can see all these amazing guys I'll be climbing with. And hopefully on that as well, I'll have my GPS. So you can actually track me and stuff of where I'm going.
That's
so really well when I did Amina Blam, where, there's a map there. You can see where I am each day to day and where I went and stuff like that on the mountain. So I like to share a lot of my expeditions with people because people seem fascinated by it. And so I like to share as much as I can. And I love sharing with you guys and stuff, my training and my mindset, because I see how it can adapt to what you guys do in a business sense. If I could circle back to that real quick, I understand it's not a life or death thing, but if you look at it as a necessity, you have to do this. You're making a living for your family. I hear, you guys are talking about your kids and everything like that. You're making a decision and stuff like that to create a better lifestyle for them. So, what you guys do becomes a must. It's do or die, so that your family can thrive. So, if you can apply like my life or death situations, I guess, something like that to your passion for your family and stuff, you can maybe hear about my training sessions and apply it to you guys, your consistency of action and how you guys do things. I wake up every day and I go to train, my ass off, saying, if I don't get up today and I don't train, I'm not going to make it to the top of that mountain. And that becomes a fear in my mind. But
so, hey, Mark, that's a perfect say. Can I just speak to that real quick? So yeah, your training is phenomenal. As a matter of fact, I've got lots of inspiration from your 16 abs that are blessed upon your body, and you've I've opened myself up to a new nutritional type of presence that you have also implemented into your training, yes. Right? Yep. So I wanted to be shredded like Mark, so I adopted this this new program, which he is an advocate for. And can you just tell us about that? When you run that business as well, that helps you to climb up these steep mountains.
Absolutely. I mean, first, before I start off, we seeing those abs yet? Or what?
Oh yeah, brother. These things are
ready.
Summer ready, baby. Summer ready, and I have my Speedo on goddamn speed now. So let's go.
All right, good. I like to hear that. I want to see that picture too. I want to see those progress pictures. But yeah, aside from another thing I do is I do nutritional health coaching. I help people adapt healthy habits so that they can get six packs too. No, I'm just kidding. Not just that, but they can get optimal health. I've been an independent health coach since 2017 doing it. And I just love the fact of like changing lives, with everyone. And I do it by having them adapt healthy habits and eventually get to, whatever goal it is. It's not always the same goal. Some people want to fit into their wedding dress. Some people want to run a marathon. Other people just want to look good naked. Whatever it is you want to do, nutrition is key. And I started using, the program when a friend of mine hit me up and said, you always motivated me and stuff in the gym. You got to try this nutritional program out. I was skeptical at first, but after I saw the results, I was stunned. And I started adapting it to my training and stuff too. Training isn't just physical, but it's also, it's not just physically working out and everything like that, but nutrition is a huge thing about it. This opened my eyes to it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I started doing it and I started applying it to my training, as well as I started, paying it forward. I was like, wow, like I got to start coaching because I want to change other people's lives like this too. So right now, Decatur's been on the program. How long now, Decatur? I think it's been about a month, maybe 6 months.
It's been about, it's going on a month and a half. And it's funny you say that because it's so many times, man, as realtors, I mean, we go without eating for hours and hours. We have no nutritional value except for maybe some onions that are, hidden away in our car someplace. And this is a great program where it's, you can really take it. It's on the go. It takes minimal thought. You just pop a couple bars in your mouth and you're off to the races. And it's really done me justice. Again, I'm coming in with about 2 abs now, but like I said, I'm definitely speedo ready, man, and I appreciate you for that.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's one of those things where it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle change, and that's what I try to do for people and stuff is change their healthy habits and change their lifestyle so that they can actually live a healthier life. And the results aren't just what you can see, but also how you feel and everything with it too. For me, I started using it, especially with hiking and stuff. And, I found doing some really huge hikes in the Sierras where I'm going for like 15 to 17 hours straight. I can sustain it and stuff like that. And it's mainly based off of my nutrition that I've gotten from doing a program like this. So
phenomenal, man.
Yeah, man.
Phenomenal. Well, Mark, we promised you 30 minutes, brother. You gave us 32. I wish we could give us another hour or so to fill us with inspiration and knowledge, but we're gonna invite you back, my brother. We want to hear back. We want to hear about your climb, your success.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a humbling moment, man, to have you on and share your stories and your mindset. So on behalf of the team, 500, 600 Dream Chasers, bro. We're here to support you in anything that you need. I'm going to make sure all of his information team is follow the man on social media. Great Heights. What is it again? Great Heights 7?
Great Heights 7. Yep. Great Heights 7 on Instagram. And I also have Climb Against Cancer on there as well. And you can check out the progress and the whole expeditions that I got coming up on climbagainstcancer.com. And hopefully you guys follow along and stuff. And it's an honor to be on here with you guys. I appreciate the time you guys have given me. And I'd love to be back on again. I'll tell you all about how Denali goes or doesn't go. We'll see.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, my brother. Love you, man. Be safe out there. Team, you guys have a phenomenal week. We'll see you guys next week, 9 a.m. sharp. Let's fucking go.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark and Joseph.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You.
Thank you.
Let's see.